NASCAR makes one of its most ridiculous decisions yet. Find out what I'm talking about coming up next. So normally this is the part of the video where I'm like, please, I hope I earn your subscription. But today I want to skip that part because instead of earning your subscription, I would rather you share this video and we sort of get the word out, because I really would like to help this guy out because I think he's getting worked over by NASCAR. And so without further ado, let's get into what I'm talking about. Mike Harmon went to Rockingham and turned some laps at basically a parade, sort of a track day, little Thanksgiving parade festival deal. And NASCAR deemed that he was testing. So what happened was, and I'm going to put up a quote from a guy who claimed to be there. He left this in the comments. I'm just throw this up so you can read that while I talk about it. Mike Harmon was at this event, and there were cars going around the track about half speed, just, sort of, letting people get some laps on the track or whatever. And so he takes his race car out there to sort of be an ambassador for NASCAR. He was trying to, get people interested in the sport that might not have ever seen a stock car before. So he went about a half-speed lap in his car, and, he was mingling with the fans, being cool. So, just basically a race car in a parade, and turned a half-speed lap or two at Rockingham. Well, word got back to NASCAR, and NASCAR decided that because he ran a few laps at Rockingham, they were going to fine him $50,000, dock him 6 races, and, well, for a team like Mike Harmon, that is no good, because this is a mom and pop team. It's a low budget team. They are barely getting by as it is, and this type of thing right here, and NASCAR knows this, possibly could end this team. And so let's get into why. I'm not going to say NASCAR is doing this on purpose, but there could possibly be a motivation, so we're going to look at it real quick right now. As you know, NASCAR recently has typically leaned one way politically. I think that a lot of people think that. I'm not saying they are or aren't, but a lot of people think that they're leaning one way politically. And Mike Harmon is leaning the other way politically. Let's say NASCAR is tending to be blue. Mike Harmon tends to be red, and that's putting it lightly. So it wouldn't be a stretch to say that some of the higher-ups at NASCAR are sort of irritated with Mike Harmon's behavior. And even though this clearly was not probably a testing violation, this is a way for them to put Mike Harmon in his place, or just to sort of get rid of Mike Harmon. So I think, in my opinion, that this could be a reasoning. I'm not saying it is or isn't, because you can't prove anybody's motivation, but there's definitely motive there, to say the least. To further make my case, if you look back in the early 2000s, NASCAR was tired of the start and park teams. One of those start and park teams was Carl Long. You might remember this story. Carl Long was caught with an illegal motor, and they fined the Carl Long team $200,000, which obviously they didn't have. They knew Carl Long couldn't pay that. And, well, they basically tried to put Carl Long out of racing because at that time they didn't want any start and parks. And the problem with this is they got the engine from Ernie Elliott, a certified NASCAR engine builder. So if the engine was illegal, why don't you find the engine builder and not the guy who just stuck it in his car? So pretty much that was them trying to get rid of Carl Long, and Carl Long Racing has never really recovered from that. I mean, you see how the 66 runs. It's never gotten any better, because I'm not sure that fine is fully paid off to this day. So fast forward a little bit to the Mike Harmon deal, where they fined him $50,000 and 6 races and 75 owner and driver points going into next season. They're trying to cripple him the same way they crippled Carl Long. In this situation, like I said earlier, I think it's to get him in line. So Mike Harmon goes and appeals this, and he appeals it to the National Motorsports Appeals Panel. And on this panel, he was judged for his appeal in this kangaroo court, in my opinion, by 3 people. Tom DeLoach, Dickie Gore, and Dale Pinellas. If you look at where these guys come from, let's start with Dale Pinellas. He is a former NASCAR track operator for the Madhouse. So, former NASCAR employee. I wonder which way he's going to lean. Let's look at the next one. Dickie Gore, also a former track operator. Used to own Old Dominion, a NASCAR sanctioned track. So, basically, another former NASCAR employee. And then let's look at the third one, who was Tom DeLoach. Used to own Red Horse Racing, former Mobil 1 executive. Mobil 1, big part of NASCAR. So this one could go either way. Tom DeLoach could go either way. That would be your swing vote. But when you've already got 2 other guys who, in my opinion, would probably lean toward NASCAR since they used to work for them. I mean, this was a kangaroo court. This was Mickey Mouse, man. They had no chance. This was not legitimate. This was not a genuine opportunity to appeal your case, in my opinion. So, Mike Harmon got stuck with this. So, what I want to do about it is they have started a GoFundMe. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is share this video. Hopefully we can reach, 50,000 people with it. And if 50,000 people give $1, that pays off Mike Harmon's fine. And we can keep Mike Harmon in NASCAR because I think he's getting, not a fair shake just because of how he leans politically, which kind of stinks. But that's the world we live in today. And like I said, this is all just my opinion. So, yeah. If you'd like to help this guy out, share the video. If you got $1 to spare, I know it's Christmas time and finances are tight, but if you got $1 to spare, throw it at the GoFundMe. I'm gonna leave a link for the GoFundMe in the description down below. But definitely, if you don't, just please share the video and let's get the word out and try to help old Mike Harmon keep it going here in Xfinity Racing. All right, thanks for your time. Peace.